and welcome back to the Cardinals franchise, where we are starting off episode, I believe, 11, week 10, with a scouting special. Already have gone through the entire thing pretty much to find some guys we're interested in, and we're interested in quite a lot for now. 99 players, just shy of 100 on the board. We won't go through all 99, but sum up some positions, specifically ones that I don't think are of high need. First one being quarterback. I would like to find a backup for sure, but nothing really over a day three, potential undrafted, and we'll see. We do have McSorley as our backup, and he's done a solid job whenever he's been out there, so not an extreme need, but taking a look. Running back is one that is interesting because I would like to find some good receiving back for us that could be a long-term good guy to build around. We've seen Derek Young, who's been solid for us. We're kind of switched him from receiver over to running back, and he's been solid, but he's missing that open field ability. Make guys miss, get some more yards. So we'll see what all we find. There was one running back that was interesting to me that has nothing to do with the receiving game, and that is Tyron Hayden, who is a power back out of Bama, 6'1", 234, 21 years old. He has some speed, but has a lot of strength. Now, I'm not thinking of him primarily as a running back, but kind of as like a Kyle Juszczyk, a fullback that also plays a little bit of running back. And we could see here he has some pass blocking potential. So I'm hoping there's also some run block ability, as well as he already has some carrying ability, running back ratings with A, ball carrier vision and carrying, A, stiff arm, B to D trucking, and then catching. Really not much there, but again, primarily thinking of him as like a fullback slash running back hybrid. We've been using Max Williams, our third string tight end, as a fullback this year. So I'd like to find someone that actually fits that spot a little bit better. And possibly that could be Tyrone Hayden in the round 3 to 4. There are a bunch of other running backs, a total of 8 on this list, with some round 1 to 2s to day 3 guys. And no one is necessarily separating themselves from the pack, which is why we're not going to take too much of an in-depth look. The receiving group, I did not like a single one. I do not have a single one on our board. So no new receivers, except for maybe free agents, will be coming in. Tight ends, I do want to start building up a future tight end core. Max Williams probably won't be staying with the team. Trey McBride, I do want him to become our number 1 tight end. I'm still deciding with Zach Ertz if we keep him after this year. He could potentially retire. I don't know. But want to take a look at what we have. And there are 6 guys here, including potential undrafteds, that I like. So some options for us in the mid to late round picks. Earliest being around 3 to 4 with Donnie Keenan. All of them just have a blend of run blocking as well as receiving. So that's kind of what my archetype is for tight ends. I like a versatile tight end. But the big need for us on offense is the offensive line. And the tackles are solid. Most likely we'll be choosing someone from the tackle group, whether it's 2 tackles, a right tackle and a left tackle, or 2 from either. We definitely need to find out some more information. And again, another group that not all of them are separating themselves, specifically up top. I think one that seemed very intriguing to me and will highlight is Malachi Peoples. And if that is not a name of an offensive lineman from LSU, I don't know what is. So he's 6'7", just shy of 340, 22 years old. He has some strength, some speed. He's honestly a pretty good athlete for being about 340 pounds. So really intrigued by him, but we don't know for sure what the ratings are. It could swing either way, which is why I think I want Malachi Peoples to be one of our focus scouts for week 11. But he has A, awareness, A, pass block, power. Could potentially also have A, lead block, A, pass block, A, run block. Could also go down to C for either of those. And for his run blocking, B to D finesse, we do know B power. So it is intriguing. We know he's a power archetype. So Not sure exactly how it would necessarily go. Run block finesse could be a D. Pass block could be anywhere from a A to a C. So a large array from where he could go, which I think is why I'm intrigued to see where he ends up actually going. We do have Adrian Boren around 1 to 2, who has primarily the highs of Bs, but as a round 1 to 2 gives us some flexibility. Brady Grant, potential solid lineman for us, as well as Ted Samuel, although I think Samuel would be below the other two. Again, potential first round guys, considering his highs are mostly Bs. At guard, not a whole lot, some mid-round and late-round guys, with Tony Baugh out of Stanford, an agile guy who has some pass block, some run block ability. We are an air raid offense, and that goes more for the pass protector. But if we had to choose, probably more agile would fit in, I would think. So some options in the interior, but I think the primary focus is on the outside. Only one potential center that I was interested in Mick McLaughlin, but he's a potential undrafted. Right guard, only a late day 3. Right tackle, a few more options earlier on with Kevin Barkley, Dominic Sherwood, and Lyle Johnston. And again, not necessarily any of them separating themselves too much. Lyle Johnston is definitely more of a developmental guy with not much run blocking, but the other two have potential to be decent run blockers as well. So we'll take a look at both of them, starting with Kevin Barkley. He is 6'6", 319, 21 years old, out of Georgia. Love to go with the young guys. Always slightly give them an edge because they can develop more than, let's say, if they're a 23-year-old rookie. Now, a lot of these linemen don't have great strength. Decent to solid, which is slightly below average to average. So not great there for Barkley. We know that he does have A pass block and A pass block finesse with a potential for A pass block power as well, B run block, and some okay finesse and power ratings. Round 1, a little concerning there. If I spend a round 1 pick on a lineman, I like for them to be balanced, but with the scheme, we're definitely erring on the side of pass protectors. Dominic Sherwood, with him, we're going to get about that same blocking. He has some speed and some agility, but again, seeing that same information could be A pass block and pass block finesse. We do know pass block power is an A, and then some middle of the road ratings for run blocking. So I think we kind of have to go with one of these two guys. And are they both 21? I think they're both 21. So I think potentially we give Dominic Sherwood that second spot. So Malachi, Peoples, and then Dominic Sherwood. But we also really need some help over on the defensive side. We've already started to address it a little bit this season. We traded J.J. Watt to bring in a future second-round pick and Adoree Jackson to help out our secondary, which is good because there's not a lot of promising corners. There's one that looks amazing, and then the rest not so good, but we'll get to that later. As for the defensive line, we could go in two different directions, whether we will rebuild the defense as a 4-3 or stay in the 3-4. Either way, we're going to spend a majority of our time in nickel, which is more of like a 4-2-5 kind of defense. So I would like to find some stronger guys on the outside. So we have quite a lot of guys at the defensive line spots because we can move them around. We have 8 over at the left end spot, some of which we know where they're going to be. JP Richardson is a DT through and through with A block shedding. We'll go take a quick look at him. He has potential to also bring a bit of power rush as well with A to C. We know there's not going to be finesse moves, but we already kind of know how good he is. Maybe if we want to finish up scouting on him at the end of the season, he'll be the focus scouting right before the NFL draft. But we know what we have with JP Richardson, and we like what we see with JP Richardson. So definitely is one of the top guys that we're looking for. Past him, we have a lot more of some one-dimensional guys with some potential guys that could kind of go either way. Tyrell Harding has potential to have some block shedding as well as finesse moves at 256 pounds. Would be a really good guy for us as an outside rusher. But he could also have no block shedding, it could be a D. We know he's a speed rusher, so that's good, but we don't know if there's that second thing that he could do. And with a first round pick, you want to make sure they're not one dimensional. In the day 3, though, we have a guy who could potentially be a two-dimensional guy late. Chauncey Layman, B block shedding, B to D power moves. Really like that as someone who could potentially do multiple things. We see that as well with Melvin Scott with B block shedding and then A to C power moves. With Joseph Cross, another day 3, B power moves with A to C or B finesse moves with A to C power moves. And then we get into some of the potential undrafted, and here I'm just looking for one key rating. Jason DeVoe has B power moves, nothing else. Justin Kyle has potential to have some block shedding. At a smaller size, not sure how that would really work with us, but someone I just wanted to keep an eye on. And then Javier Stackhouse has B power moves at 277, could play left end or could be an outside linebacker. At right end, we have, again, a lot of players. Again, any of these linemen could play any of the different spots. Besides a few of them, we know. The last one that we looked at with J.P. Richardson at right end or at left end. At right end, we have his counterpart in Johnny Fox. So 2 first-round potential guys that would do the same kind of job for us. Johnny Fox not as good, obviously being projected around 1 to 2. He's one-dimensional, but really good at what he does. Plus, being 21 years old is great. Physicals, he has elite strength. Potential, great to elite. So either way, really good. And that's something we don't have much of on our D line. But he's smart, has A block shedding, has the potential to grow that power moves into something. But I've said it several times, I want a for sure run stopper on the team. And that is exactly what Johnny Fox does. He's a for sure run stopper. So he's up high on the board. Past him, we're going to see a little bit of some guys that could go either way or one-dimensional guys. Mark Bellamy, I have a lot of interest in, and I think will be our last and final of our focus scouting guys. So we'll take a little look at him here. Again, 21 years old out of Bama, weighs 288, 6'6", so could potentially play on the interior, could also play on the outside. We take a look at the athletic standpoint of him. He has some strength, but not much speed. So I think more of a smaller DT, a rush kind of DT. But as we jump over to the first page, he is listed at run stopper. But we already know that power moves is a B. And block shedding and finesse moves has the potential to also be a B. And the fact that he's listed as a run stopper tells me block shedding is going to be a B. Finesse moves could be a D. That's fine. That's still 2 different ways this guy could get into the backfield or cause havoc for other offenses. That's what makes me very intrigued. Also with the fact that he's smart. A play rec and B awareness. A injury as well. All really good things. In round 2 to 3, that is solid. Mark Bellamy, I am very much interested in. Considering we really need to work on both our offensive and defensive lines, having options in the first couple rounds is key. Past him, we get into some lower rounds. We also have another 2 and 3, but they're all, for the most part, one-dimensional. Ron Saunders here, B power moves as a day 3. Justin Campbell, potential for A finesse moves in round 2 to 3. The reason he's lower is because he could also just have C finesse moves and just not be very good. Lance Henley, round 3 to 4, has B finesse moves. Antoine Aiken is a run stopper with B block shedding. As a day 3 guy, I'm fine with that being a one-dimensional. There is Roosevelt Cole, who is on here as a day 3 because the block shedding, finesse moves, and power moves, considering the fact that he's listed as a run stopper, not sure the finesse moves will be much higher. But again, someone who we could kind of mold into whatever we need. At 317, though, most likely going to be a run stopper for us. So has some potential, not the highest. Mike Dyson is a day 3 speed rusher with B finesse moves. And then Darrell Cartwright, power moves being a B with potential for block shedding to be a B to a D as well. So that is what intrigues me with this undrafted potential talent. At DT, we have another 7 players. Most of them are going to be more of the run stopper, but also some guys we can move around the line. We'll start with DeMario McKinley. Run stopper is what his archetype is, and that is the one that we don't know for sure, being a B to a D. The finesse and power moves are already a B, so he could be a very well-rounded lineman for us that we can mold however we need. But one that might be even better at that, though, is Emmanuel Fort. Listed as a power rusher, power rush and finesse both B. Block shedding has the potential to be A to C. Considering he's listed as a power rusher, I would imagine block shedding would really be B to a C, possibly C, but he's at least a multi-dimensional rusher for us. Raymond Gilmore, A finesse moves, A tackle. Solid in the 3rd to 4th round. Gabe Mender, around 3 to 4. Possible, A finesse moves, 2C. Again, some of these guys could very much drop off the board later when we find out more information. Gerald McCain, A finesse moves. C for block shedding and power moves. In the 2nd to 3rd round, maybe more towards the 3rd round, late 2nd. Gives you a bit of a variety. You could try to raise up either, but most likely would be an interior pass rusher. Jermaine Allen, day 3. Again, potential for A finesse moves to also a C. And then lastly is Luke Dixon, listed as a speed rusher with A finesse moves as a potential undrafted. That's getting you on the board. And then we move into the linebackers, and linebackers are difficult to scout because you don't know exactly if they're going to be more of an edge rush or an actual linebacker per se. So a lot of different options, and we'll see what we end up kind of going with, but we'll run through these fairly quickly. We'll start with Emmanuel Tooney, and he is a power rusher and has potential to be good, which is why he's still obviously on the board. For some of these guys, you kind of have to jump in to actually see what they look like. But potential A to C power moves with A to C block shedding. That's what keeps him on the board. Next up is Marcus Jackson, and very similarly, A power moves, B block shedding. Really good round 1 potential. Do we go with an edge rush at backer or on the line? Not quite sure. There's also speed rusher in Eric Bayer out of Georgia, and he has A finesse moves, but nothing else to really back up that finesse moves, being C power moves at the best and C block shedding. So not the highest on the board of edge rushers, but plenty of potential. Then there is Marcus Beasley, and he is listed as a run stopper, but has potential to also cover the ball as well with B to D zone coverage. Does have A tackle and is not a pass rusher at all. So potential there with Marcus Beasley in around 2 to 3, solid for him. In the 3rd to 4th round, we have David Chamberlain, who is a pass cover guy, and he has A zone with the potential to also have A man coverage, A to C, and then a little bit of block shedding, also could have none. It could fall off the board, but with that A zone coverage, if he makes it to the 4th round, you kind of have to scoop him up. As for another cover guy, Malik Brown out of LSU, very similar, doesn't have much block shedding, but potential for some really good cover ratings. You have to keep an eye out on him. And then in the day 3s, we have Shaquille Hill, a power rusher with potential A to C, with block shedding to be B to a D. So, and finesse moves being B to a D as well. So a lot of options there for him in a late round. Someone we need to keep on the board till we find out more information. Dwayne Boyd, a pass cover guy, again, day 3, A to C zone, B to D man. Does not get off the blocks very well, but can help in coverage. Plus, I believe a lot of these guys have some decent speed to really good speed. So, day 3 guys, got to keep an eye out on. At middle linebacker, we really want to do it all kind of guy. We don't have any high-end talent here, but for Kurt Turner, we have some potential coverage with a little bit of block shedding. John McElroy, we do have some known cover ability in the round 3 to 4, something we'll keep an eye out on. B.J. Richardson, a pass cover guy as a potential undrafted with A to C zone and B to D block shed. Got to keep an eye on it. Devon Wilford, pass cover guy, potential undrafted A to C zone. We'll see. At right outside linebacker, got another 7 guys. Again, a lot of these guys might end up dropping off the board. Sean Reynolds, A to C zone coverage with some potential for okay block shedding. Calvin Bingham is a run stopper with B to D block shedding, but we do know B zone coverage, which is why he's on the board as a day 3. Jerome Weston is a speed rusher out of USF with A to C power moves, A to C finesse moves, and C block shedding. Round 3 to 4, a bunch of possible talent there that we need to keep an eye out on. We also have Kevin Rhodes in round 3 to 4, who's another speed rusher with, we know D power moves, but potential for A to C finesse and block shedding. Guys that are multidimensional in that mid-round, they're really good guys who have a lot of upside. Landry Dixon is a pass cover guy with A to C zone coverage, C to F block shedding. Ryan Spellman is a run stopper with B block shedding, but potential to B to D zone coverage. And then we have Virgil Webster, who is more of a finesse guy who has some potential as an undrafted guy, but not super high on the board, but someone with some interest. Now at corner, not a big fan of this class. We have 8 on there, but none that I'm very high on, except for Quan Barnes, who just looks insane. 6'2", 195, 22 years old. My exact size that I love with corners. Plus, a tremendous athlete with strength, speed, acceleration, change of direction, anything you'd want with a corner. He has A awareness, A man coverage, A catching, A stamina, A tackle with B press, B zone coverage, potential as well for B to C block shedding. This is my dream corner. Unfortunately, he's a top 5 player, and I doubt we'll be getting out of the first pick. I'm sure this guy is going to be one of those generational players that we heard about when Madden 23 was talking about new changes that they were going to have to these draft classes. Quan Barnes looks insane. But unfortunately, like I said, don't think we're going to be able to get him. So our options are limited, and I'm thinking maybe about changing some safeties to a slot corner spot that we really want to work on. But in this draft, we have some potential guys to draft and try to develop. Doug Walker listed as man-to-man. Not great. He has D zone cover or D man coverage, so that tells me zone is probably a D. But he has A to C press, which is intriguing as a day 3. There's also Jermaine McPherson, another. Most of these guys, I think, if not all, most of them, yeah, except for Ramon Ellerby, are all man cover guys. But McPherson, C man coverage, A to C press with B catch ability. Seems intriguing. Day 3, Gordon Morgan. Again, potential with B to D man coverage. We do know press is a C. Isaiah Averill, not fantastic, but has potential undrafted with that B press. Makes him intriguing. Tyree Smith, again, pretty much the exact same. Ramon Ellerby is the only non-man-to-man listed as a slot, with both man coverage and zone coverage being C to an F, with press being B to a D. And then in the round 2 to 3, Jameel Spike seems okay. That man coverage would need to be a C, but does have B press. So maybe something. I'm not thinking any more than a 3rd round for me personally. And we're not needing much help in the safety department. We have our 2 starters, but again, some of these guys have the ability to maybe go down to that slot corner spot. So they're on the board, also making sure we have some solid depth. Kendall Jones has some ability to cover. That's what gets him on the board, as well as some run-stopping ability. Tyrone Fowler, very similar, but with a higher upside potential with coverage. Nate Haggerty is pretty much going to be another one of those guys that has some potential to play either safety spot. Could maybe see if he could play the corner spot, but most of that is going to go down to block shedding. Johnny Hitchens has some potential in round 2 to 3 with some cover and hit power ability. A lot of these free safeties look more like strong safeties to me. Jermaine McKay, potential for some really good zone coverage as well as hit power. Jalen Verdon is one that I'm considering as a guy who could possibly move down to that corner spot with B to D, man and zone, A to C tackling, and B hit power. Could potentially be someone that could go down there again, depending on what we end up finding with his block shedding. And Brett Branson has pretty much just the ratings to be a backup free safety, as well as Jaleel Sylvester, both of them potential undrafteds. At strong safety, this is where I found more guys that I think could play more of that corner role. Jason Edwards, round 1 to 2, with A to C zone coverage, with A tackle and A hit power. Man coverage is a D though, so not spectacular with that. Nick Hale, another one that I think could very much play that slot corner spot with B zone, A to C man, A to C hit power, and C tackling. And then Arthur Dunn seems more of a backup developing kind of guy with that similar play style as Nick Hale, just not as good. So a lot of potential with a lot of these guys. We have a kicker and punter on the board, actually 2 punters, in case our kicker and punter retire, because they're both pretty old. So a lot of guys on the board. We'll try to half it by the time we get to the off season as we learn more information, and guys that we were hoping would have an upside end up not. But those 3 guys I definitely want to have on the list. So Malachi Peoples at left tackle. Then at right tackle, we'll do Dominic Sherwood. And then at right end, we'll do Mark Bellamy. Those will be the focus players because I feel like they could be either really good or miss the mark, really. So we'll see. But now that all of that is finally done and we spent quite a lot of time, hopefully I could cut that down a bit. It's a really important game that we get into here against the Rams to maintain our number 1 spot in the NFC West that we got at the end of last episode with our best victory to date, 31-15 win over the Seahawks. So we'll need to have that continue. Let's jump on into this team meeting. When a team sweeps you, they get the sense they own you and that you're not a threat. Let's go out, get our revenge, and show everyone the first loss was more than a fluke. There's no way I'm letting them hold that over our heads. Bring everything you have today, and let's show them that they can't beat us at our best. We barely lost to the Rams, if I'm remembering correctly. We need some revenge not only for this season, but last season, the last real-life season. We will have a +5 break tackle and play rec for this week's game. Welcome into SoFi Stadium, where we need a victory today. Obviously, you need to win every week, but today, even more specifically, big revenge game for how the season ended for us last year, how the first game went for us this year. We just need to play a much better game, and Matthew Stafford, looking like he's playing a little bit better than possibly the first real game of the real-life season. 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for him on the year. But obviously, our team specifically is quite a bit different, I feel like, than when we first met. We've made some changes with player personnel, made some trades, as well as just moved some players around. And Zaven Collins, if it hits you in the head, you got to catch it. Either way, nice pass breakup there. But yeah, moved on from some players, have some other players playing in some new spots or some new roles. So hopefully that'll all help us out. Decent run stop there. Akers falls forward for a gain of 4. And on 3rd and 6, they'll come out with a bunch to this left-hand side. One lone receiver to the right. We're going to need to make sure we lock up a couple different guys as they go with a nice levels play there. And they do find Cooper Kupp for the first down. And we're going to need to kind of feel out a little bit whether they're going to run a lot of quick passes or developing plays here. Kind of help us decide if we're going to blitz more. Murphy will get the tackle, but not after a huge gain there to number 12. I believe that's Van Jefferson. But so far, I feel like they're doing a little bit more of some developing plays. So let's try to bring a little bit of a blitz. Gardeck off the edge, and he's in. That speed, you cannot leave him untouched. He'll get back there way too quickly. He's one who, depending on what happens with his regression, because he actually is on the slightly older side, I believe around 28, 29. We'll see if he ends up keeping his starting spot next year, but a lineman for the Rams injured. I believe I said Noteboom? My bad. I didn't read it very well. That is Noteboom. He's headed to the locker room. Now, Madden 23, not like previous Maddens, where if a player goes to the locker room, they're done. I've seen players come back into the game, the same game, when they head into the locker room, so they might end up getting him back, but they're not getting the first down here. 4th and 6 after the dump-off pass stop by Simmons. But they will bring out the field goal unit, kicking from about the 43. Make this a 53-yarder. That one is up, and that one is good. Plenty of distance, and the Rams will take an early field goal lead. And for our offense, as they take the field for the first time today, starting at the 22. Last time we played, we only really knew how to pass. Plus, we had a few other guys as well. Now we've started to introduce a little bit more of the run game, and not straight runs like this one was, but a lot of RPO. And on top of the RPO, we're also getting Kyler Murray back to a bit of a better stamina starting ground. So hopefully we'll see him able to do a little bit more as he takes the read option for about a gain of 13, possibly a late hit there on Ramsey, but no penalty thrown. Gain of 14. And now just because Murray has a bit of stamina back does not mean that we need to be throwing it all too often. We'll go with a run here because for some reason it did not have Young out there at that second running back spot. So Mostert will get a gain of 8. But he could help us out here, and Mostert needs to seemingly leave the field. He's heavy breathing out there. So we'll probably sub him off after this play because we're going to have Rondale Moore break open, throw that a little bit flat to help try to lead him away from the DBs, get us inside the 25. And now we have Derek Young out there, one of a promising experimental player here for us. He'll take the RPO handoff down the middle, and he will scoot forward for about a gain of 14, 15 yards, gets us to the 10. 1st and goal, so just barely enough room for us to get a first. And on that 1st and 10, I don't even see the line to gain, so it's intriguing. We'll try to go with the jet sweep here. They do back that safety up. That'll help us out. We need that sealed block, and we have it. Rondale Moore close down to the 1. And now they list it at 2nd and goal. Okay. And again, we'll go with a little bit of RPO here. If that corner fakes, we should have Brown wide open. And he does fake. We have the block, and that one is an easy touchdown. RPO's working very well for us ever since we started to switch over to a little bit more of a option pass kind of game. And with that touchdown connection, we find ourselves up 7-3. So that change in offensive style, while still an air raid, definitely has been in our favor, as we're on a 3 to 4 game win streak, which is rather nice considering for a bit there we had a couple games where we just couldn't do much. I was very worried at what spot we would be finishing this season, but seemingly have taken a positive turn. And hopefully we'll see that continue as the Rams got a first down on the last play, come out spread here. And they send guys to a variety of different areas. Instead, they'll settle with a check down. Akers gets a gain of 4. And if the Rams offense is anything like the Vikings offense, we're going to see a lot of levels plays. So we need to make sure that we're disciplined in our zone, and really disciplined there was Zaven Collins. Just sat right in his gap and was able to at least be a part of the stop. Akers kind of bounced off of him a bit, but quickly brought down as they will find the slot. No, nice job. Buda Baker breaks that one up after giving up a garbage time touchdown last week. That's a nice way to answer back. And I'm a little curious, who all thinks that it's time the Cardinals get a new uniform? Their styling here is very late 2010s. Because as we hit the end of the first quarter here, up 7-3, I just feel like I'm used to see so many college teams wearing this style of uniform in like the 15, maybe to the end, closer to 2020, but sometimes within the 2010s, feel like a lot of college teams are wearing uniforms that look like this, so maybe it's time for a little bit of an update. Go with the like the modern classic look that's becoming a lot more popular, you know, with a pretty clean uniform with maybe some little shoulder stripes or something like that. I don't know, would be interesting. Gonna go for D-Hop, who gets his first catch in tight coverage as well, gives us the first down. And so far for Hopkins, has come back pretty strong for us. Helped get a game winner in his first game back, so that was nice to see. And those directional passes that we're getting from Kyler, just, they're leaving a little bit to be desired. They're not quite as accurate as I'm wanting them to be, or as close, I guess I should say, as what I'm wanting them to be. D-Hop kind of gets a little bit of a block, not quite enough to keep Young in bounds. And it does look like they're going to bring a bit of a blitz, safety blitz on this left-hand side, which would work out for us as we try to squeak out a bit of a screen pass, and that one, not great. Need better blocking there. 52 gets the nice stop. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 12 as they have a single high safety. Try to get Rondale Moore down the seam here. And potential, but not quite liking what I'm seeing. I'll just scramble here with Murray. Get forward and out of bounds. Floyd seemingly has quite a lot of speed. And on 3rd and 3, we're going to bring in Andy Isabella in the slot. Give Rondale Moore a bit of a breather. Bring in another speedster. We're going to go with that jet sweep to the outside. And he's going to need to fight forward that stretch. Not quite close enough. I'm feeling like we go for it. And in at fullback is our running back, Williams. Kind of doing the opposite of what I talked a little bit about with the running back, the power back in the class. Wanting to move him to fullback, but also play him at running back. Kind of now using Williams a little bit as a running fullback. Unfortunately, I just don't believe he has a lot of run blocking ability. Otherwise, I would just move him over to fullback, and he would pretty much answer that kind of player we were looking for. Going to take a sack here. Gaines will get back there for the loss of 6. I was eyeing down Ertz, and Ramsey was lurking. And speaking of Ramsey, he didn't have a very good opening game of the season. Had a perfect passer rating against him. Gave up, I think, 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. Not what we're used to seeing from him. Gonna scramble, get back the lost yardage, and a couple more. 3rd and 8. And on 3rd and 8, looking for Ertz across the middle here. Maybe for some of these out routes, Hopkins, if he gets the one-on-one to the outside. Which looks like that's going to be the case. And that pass greatly underthrown. Luckily, Hill about a half a step behind. And on 1st and goal, we're going to bring out Trace McSorley to run a little bit of read option. Hand this one off down the middle. Mostert, not much room to run. Donald with the big hit. Continue to try to work that a little bit. They have one extra guy on that right-hand side, so we'll flip this, run it to the other side. McSorley, try to outrun Donald, and yeah, that's not going to happen. We'll hit the 2-minute warning for a 3rd and goal from the 9. And on 3rd and goal, let's run some slants with a bit of a wheel. I'm going to have Mostert stay in to block. We'll send Young out and see what we can get. Gonna need to step up in the pocket here. Have a guy breaking open late. Rondale Moore not able to hold on to it. He hesitated a bit on extending that route, and that will cost us the touchdown. He had the space, but that hezi did not help, but we'll knock in a field goal to take a touchdown lead, 10-3. And so far for us, we've been able to move the ball fairly steady on offense. Unfortunately, missed a chance at a touchdown on that last drive, but doing fairly solid. Can't be missing tackles like that, though. Giving up pretty much a first down. They'll mark it 2nd and inches. But we need to make sure we're not missing out on opportunity. We'll come out here on that 2nd and inches with the double A-gap blitz. Gardeck right off the edge will hit home. That speed, you got to get at least a hand on him. If he just has open running room, it's not going to work out very well for you. The running back will get there and actually get the block. They'll complete it. Cooper Kupp first down at the 38 as time continues to tick off the clock here. They try to switch to a man coverage. Now they double up on Gardeck and took him completely out of it. Timeout called for the Rams. With about a minute, 2 timeouts left, they're close to field goal range. Actually, they might honestly be in it, considering how far they knocked it in the last time. And they'll get this ball to Robinson for the first down, now down to the 32 with their 2nd timeout called. I will give the Rams credit. They definitely throw the ball in all three of the zones, I guess you could call it, being deep, medium, and short. Check down, big hit there from Simmons. Akers holds on to it as the clock will continue. The Rams holding on to that last timeout. Now sitting with about 30 seconds left. They have a bunch to the left-hand side. Try to sit underneath some of these. And instead they'll go with Van Jefferson to the opposite side and get them about to the 10. We do get a tackle inbounds, and they'll waste some time. Now about 10 seconds left, they'll call their last timeout. I know slightly off on the time. 15 seconds left. No timeouts remain. If we could get a tackle inbounds, this half is over. But they won't be passing the ball. At least, right off the lineman. Tim Settle in there making a play, but throwing it out of the sack was Stafford. So we still need to get a tackle inbounds to have this clock run out so we could head on into halftime with a touchdown lead. Trying to make sure we don't give up anything. Another Gardeck sack, and we will head into halftime with that. 3 sacks in the first half for Gardeck helps us secure our lead into halftime with a 10-3 game. And this one's been pretty close. Both teams playing pretty evenly, I would say. We're doing much better in stopping their running game, and that might just be the difference. But let's take a look around the league, see what else is happening. Seahawks off to a really bad start, and they get a victory today, 24-21 against the Buccaneers, who are 5-5 with Tom Brady. The Bucs also defeated the Rams for us last week to help us get that first place spot in our division. Colts up big, 24-0 against the Raiders, looking to get to 500. Matt Ryan, 2 touchdowns on the day. And then up north, we have the Cowboys and the Packers. Packers up 13-7, and they're trailing way behind 500, 2-7 on the season. They would almost need to win out to get above 500. But let's jump back into this game where your Cardinals will be receiving the second half kickoff. Dortch back to return. There's some space, so why not? Let's take it out. And that space closed very quickly. We will be starting at the 21, coming out with that RPO swing pass. Gonna see how well they go with it, and they go more inside. Let's try to get to the outside. Young will get about a gain of 5. We actually mark it gain of 4. On 2nd and 6, we'll come out 3 to the right. Hopkins alone to the left. Also gonna have Mostert go out on the wheel route. And we have Rondale Moore not able to dive and get it. Granted, if that pass wasn't thrown there, could have potentially been intercepted. So we'll take the incompletion. 3rd and 6. Look for something. D-Hop on the crossing route and about a yard 2 in front. And following a solid return from the Rams, they'll start their first drive of the second half at the 42. Considering they made a kick from the 43 earlier, they really don't have to go much further to get into field goal range, and Budda Baker will get the tackle after the catch by Akers, gain of 4. And now they'll switch things up entirely, come out in a heavy set. That'll bring out Fotu with our defensive tackles. And he definitely needs to make some plays, really. Some noise for him would be good, because unfortunately for him, he lost his starting spot, and if he doesn't make any plays with the time he has out there, like Gardeck with 4 sacks today, he's really not going to see the field very much. But a great job by Gardeck will force another punt for the Rams. And we'll be starting down at the 15. 2 tight ends to the right-hand side, 2 receivers to the left. We'll hand the ball off. Marquise Brown try to get to the outside. Not able to fully cut up the field, but get a gain of 8. And I really wish Madden would stop messing with my depth chart. Keeps putting Max Williams in as the number 2 tight end when I want him to be the 3rd, as I want our rookie tight end out there. But we have some room out here with Young, and a face mask will be thrown to tack on an extra 15. You saw him try to make that juke, and he almost got it. It took an illegal play to bring him down. And that is called on Fuller. So get us past midfield here. See if we can maybe get D-Hop deep. Haven't really gotten him deep very often, but that's going to be a sack for Aaron Donald. We had done pretty good up to that point in keeping him, for the most part, out of the game. But he makes a splash play there as we go for Hopkins on the RPO. Gets us close to the first down, 3rd and inches. And on 3rd and inches, let's flop the side of play here. Go with, again, that read option. Trace McSorley out there. We'll hand the ball off, and we're doing the limbo. And we fall backwards for the first down. That's just another one of our options that we're using to try to keep Murray at a bit of a better level of fatigue, taking him out for a play here and there, as we're looking for something, and we're just going to need to throw this one away. There was nothing there. Great coverage from the Rams. On 2nd and 10, it worked well for us last time. We'll check again here with the RPO. Go with the swing pass. Rondale Moore, if he had the block from Hopkins, could have had a bit more. Instead, we'll get 3rd and 7. Danny Isabella in to sub out Rondale Moore in the slot. And he'll get the pass with plenty of room to run. Gets by number 4, gets by number 7, and Isabella with the speed into the end zone. We'll widen our lead to a 2-touchdown advantage. 17-3 with the made PAT. And in that celebration, I'm not sure if I called him Andy Isabella or Danny Isabella. It's Andy. If I mess that up, I'll know in future me editing this. But either way, touchdown for us. First down here for the Rams to Robinson. Give them a first down up to the 37. And we're doing much better against their offense this time around. We did fairly well that first game, but in the second half, we kind of fell apart. Need to make sure we continue a solid level of play throughout this second half. And it potentially looks like Rams are switching to a bit more of a run-focused game. So we'll see if we need to make some adjustments up front. They go with a fake handoff, fake jet sweep, try to get to the outside. Thompson will slow him down, and Simmons will bring him down, but another first down gained by Akers. Now they'll come out with a tight shotgun set, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, as well as their tight end. Will bring the blitz, but they'll throw just past our blitzing linebackers. Get a gain of 5 and out of bounds. Staying out in a similar formation, now under center though. We'll send Kupp in motion. Fake the handoff to him, and Murphy Jr. right there to get the stop for a loss of a few yards, making it 3rd and 7. And what a better time to come out than the double A gap. We won't send the blitz this time. Don't want to do it every time. They make an audible scrunch down to a tight formation here. We'll drop out of our double A gap, and we have a guy waiting, but too high for Murphy Bunting. Murphy Bunting, Byron Murphy. Sometimes you'll run into names that are just very similar, and they'll just come out without you realizing, until after you clearly have said it. Adoree Jackson will field this punt, and we'll start at the 13. And starting so far back, not sure a play action is the best course of action, but we'll try it. Get to the outside here. Nice stretch there from Brown to bring that one in. Pass just a little bit too far out in front. And that's how we will end the third quarter with a 2-score lead for us, 17-3, as we start the fourth quarter deep in our own territory. And to open the fourth, first down for us at the 23. And we'll hand this one off. Mostert down the middle. Nice break tackle will get us the first down. And we're going to go ahead and start chewing the clock a little bit this quarter, while still trying to be a little bit of an air raid here. And get a few yards there. Aaron Donald read it pretty well. And now they bring down the safety, so let's just check out of that entirely. Maybe slide over the line to the left-hand side as well. Look for underneath here. Isabella gets the catch and the first down. And now we'll bring Moore back out here, and they bring down that safety. So let's check to a play action here. Maybe try to see if we can get more deep, but they do a good job covering. And they have good levels as well. We'll toss this one out. And on 2nd and 10, maybe go for the screen here, or we'll hand it off. We'll see kind of how the blocking looks, and it looks good, but not as good as it originally looked. Only gain of 2. For a second there, I thought we had it. Looked like Hopkins was coming over to get a solid block, but just weren't able to keep it together. Murray going to scramble here. Open running room. Slide down at about the 40 for the first down. I would say definitely the RPO offense here is definitely working pretty well for us. I really enjoy it. I haven't ran an RPO style of offense much before Brown will get the catch. Donald all the way back at the 25. Don't know why he was way back there, but he'll get the tackle as Brown gets us close to the red zone. On 1st and 10 at the 24. Ticking close to about 4 minutes left. Young in at the running back spot. We sent him out. We had a couple different options. And instead, we're just going to need a scramble here, get what we can, and out of bounds. We avoided the tackle from Floyd, avoided any hit just in general. And that's probably more than enough running for Murray. We really only need him out there scrambling when he has to. Although that seemingly has been quite often. Have him scramble again, this time out of bounds at the 11 with the first down. And we'll send him on over to the sideline. McSorley in the... I feel like we should give this formation a name when McSorley comes out. Try to make a move, and he might have fumbled. Bobby Wags picks it up. D-Hop gets the tackle. We'll see if this ends up actually being a fumble. Either way, it was close. And that's well after the fumble. Not a good look there. And yeah, that might have been a fumble. I don't think the knee was down. And no booth review, so most likely that is a fumble, so we won't challenge anything. We have a 2-score lead. Just learn from our mistakes there. Have McSorley slide down rather than trying to juke and jive. That works only in college. In Madden, no. On 2nd and 10, they come out empty set. We will make a play call adjustment ourselves. Don't need to blitz both linebackers if they're in an empty set. They will bring Akers back in, and then we make an adjustment to send the blitz, and then they make another adjustment back to empty. So we'll make our first original. Oh, Baker almost got the pick. Instead, caught by Akers. Gain of about 3 to 4. And on 3rd and 4, they'll come out trips to that left-hand side. One lone receiver to the right. Double A-gap blitz for the Cardinals. Try to get Gardeck underneath. He's been disruptive. Good pass from Stafford. Finds Van Jefferson for the first down. 150 yards through the air for Stafford. But those short passes are not going to help in the long run for them. They need 2 touchdowns, and there's only about 2.5 minutes left. Cup with a catch and about 8 yards. Plus, they're really not running any sort of hurry-up offense, so kind of wasting a bit of time here. Try to get a bit of a pass rush across the middle. No, they'll go outside. Akers for the first down. Breaks tackle. Gets them to about the 45. Should be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Indeed, we will head into the 2-minute warning. 17-3. Rams need 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes. And I really would love to change Simmons to a delayed blitz. Instead, I think we'll just need to do it a little bit ourselves. And, oh, Jackson a step behind. Was close. Not quite close enough. First down for the Rams, now down to the 43 as they cross midfield. And there's Tim Settle, forces the fumble. Recovered by Allen. We'll go into a hurry-up offense. Didn't let me celebrate there, which was weird. And they'll go underneath. Robinson catches the ball, maybe gains something. I don't know, but either way, they stop the clock. And on 3rd and 21, we'll make an audible out of that. Don't need to blitz the corner there. Try to send Kiki down the middle. Get something. No. Thompson just got mossed and a broken tackle. Wow. All right, Allen Robinson. Didn't see you do that too much for Chicago. Does it for the Rams, though. Brings this game a little bit closer with a minute remain. And, of course, you know they're going to be going for that onside. So A.J. Green out there as the rest of the hands team. And he'll scoop it up. Get forward to about the 40. We'll just need to get 1 first down. Call this game over. And you know what we're going with. Let's go RPO. See if we hand the ball off or if we toss it to the outside. And I should have ran it down the middle, but Young broke the tackle, and it saved my spin move for after the animation to then slow us down. A bit unfortunate there, but either way, made them use a timeout. We'll send Young out to the side there. Try to, I don't know. Either way, whatever I was trying, it didn't work. 3rd and 11. See if this works any better this go around. And they do go with Young to the outside. Leaves wide open running room for Mostert. You could say we set that play up the whole game. Rams call their last and final timeout. We'll just kneel this one out. And we will kneel down one last time as the clock expires. We get our revenge against the Rams, putting us 2 games above them in division, with the rest of the division struggling. And with this victory, we now can start looking towards the playoffs. Don't want to look too far ahead. We still need to make sure we continue solid play because the Rams not too far behind. But if we continue play like what we had today in the last few games, we should find our way on into the postseason. Well, it looks like they know how we felt the first time around. I don't think there was any way we were going to let them beat us twice. There definitely wasn't. That was a great display of resilience and focus to come back and get some revenge. We have to come into each week with the same level of energy and we'll be unstoppable. We won't be winning by a large chunk, but yeah, we could be. Getting revenge on the Rams has the team fired up, plus 10 morale for the entire team. Plus, the entire team earns 2,500 experience points. And next week, we will continue our NFC West trio of battles. The last 2 games, have been NFC West. So let's finish off the last one with a game against the San Francisco 49ers. I believe might be the first time we play them this year. They are 4-5 on the season. We have a solid advantage over them. We have a late bye in week 13. Hopefully will help us close out the season strong, but we got to stop guys like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, maybe Trey Lance. Don't know how he plays in this game. So also a bit of a revenge game for Raheem Mostert. So we'll see how well he plays. Might give him a little bit more of an opportunity ahead of Derek Young in this next game. We'll see how it plays out. But either way, huge victory for us today. We really had it in the bag for most of the game. If you look at the final score, it looks like it might be close, but we know it really wasn't. Would like to put up some more consistent points. Defense playing pretty well, though, so proud of them. Proud of the team in general. But would like to make sure we wrap this season out strong. We had an iffy first quarter of the season, but the second quarter was very strong for us. I want to make sure we continue that and make sure we continue the nice boost in subscribers, interaction that we're getting with the video. So if you're not subscribed and you're watching this series, make sure you're hitting that subscription button below and ticking that bell notification to be notified of when this series is posted. You could also, if you tick it, it'll let you know when I post the other videos. If you didn't know, we have 2 series going. The traditional franchise here with the Cardinals. We're also doing a state-only challenge with the state of Ohio, meaning we've built a team of players only from colleges from Ohio. So really fun. I hope you guys check that out. But yeah, so a lot going on the channel. So I hope you all are enjoying. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye. How it's supposed to